Why most people in their 20s feel lost, and how to find direction. Part 1. The silent confusion of your 20s. There is a strange moment that happens to many people sometime in their 20s. From the outside, everything seems normal. You wake up, go to school or work, talk with friends, scroll through social media, and life continues the way it always has. But inside your mind, a quiet question begins to appear more often than before. What am I actually doing with my life? Maybe you have asked yourself that question before, maybe late at night when the world becomes quiet and there are no distractions left. You suddenly realize something uncomfortable. You are moving forward in time, but you are not completely sure where you are going. Be honest for a moment. Have you ever looked around and felt like everyone else seems to know their direction except you? If that feeling sounds familiar, type yes in the comments right now, not because there is something wrong with you, but because recognizing that feeling is often the first step toward understanding your life more deeply. The truth is something many people do not talk about openly. Your 20s can be one of the most confusing decades of your entire life. When you were younger, life felt simple. There were clear structures. School told you what to study, teachers told you what to learn, parents told you what was important. But suddenly, somewhere around your early 20s, those clear instructions disappear, and now the responsibility quietly shifts to you. You must decide what career you want, what kind of person you want to become, what direction your life will take. That freedom sounds exciting at first, but freedom without clarity can feel overwhelming, because now there are too many options, too many paths, too many opinions, too many expectations. And in the middle of all that noise, your own voice becomes difficult to hear. Let me ask you something important. When was the last time you sat down for 10 minutes and seriously thought about the direction of your life? Not while scrolling, not while watching videos, not while multitasking, just you and your thoughts. If you cannot remember the last time you did that, you are not alone. Most people spend their 20s reacting to life instead of designing it. They follow routines, they chase short-term comfort, they postpone difficult decisions, and years pass faster than they expect. Think about the last 3 years of your life. Did they move slowly, or did they disappear faster than you imagined? If you feel like time is moving incredibly fast lately, press the like button right now, because that realization is something almost everyone eventually experiences. Time does not slow down while you figure things out, it keeps moving. And that is why understanding this decade matters so much. Your 20s are not just another chapter of life, they are a foundation. The habits you build, the skills you learn, the mindset you develop, all of those things quietly shape the person you will become in your 30s and 40s. But here is the problem most people face: nobody really teaches you how to navigate this decade. Instead, you receive thousands of different messages from the world around you. Some people tell you, follow your passion. Others say, just get a stable job. Some say, take risks while you're young. Others say, play it safe. And social media adds even more confusion. You open your phone, and suddenly, it looks like everyone else your age has already figured everything out. Someone is starting a company, someone is traveling the world, someone is buying their first house, someone is celebrating a huge career success. Meanwhile, you might be sitting in your room wondering why your life still feels uncertain. But here is something extremely important to understand. Social media often shows highlights, not reality. Behind many of those pictures are people who are just as uncertain about their future as you are. The confusion you feel is not unusual. It is actually incredibly common. In fact, many psychologists call the 20s the identity decade. This is the period when you slowly discover who you are, what you value, what kind of life you want to build. But discovering those things requires something most people avoid: honest reflection. Reflection is uncomfortable because it forces you to confront difficult questions. Questions like, am I moving towards something meaningful, or am I simply filling time? Am I developing skills that will matter 5 years from now, or am I spending most of my energy on distractions? Am I building the future version of myself, or avoiding the responsibility of becoming that person? Take a moment right now and ask yourself one simple question: if your life continues exactly the way it is today for the next 5 years, where will you end up? Think about that honestly. What kind of work will you be doing? What skills will you have developed? What kind of person will you become? If that question feels uncomfortable, that is normal. Growth often begins with discomfort. Now, here is something I want you to try. In the comments, write one word that describes how you currently feel about your future. Maybe it is confused, curious, hopeful, lost, motivated. Whatever word feels honest. You might be surprised how many people feel the same way you do, because the truth is something society rarely talks about. Feeling lost in your 20s does not mean you are failing. In many cases, it means you are thinking seriously about your life for the first time, and that is actually a powerful starting point. But there is one danger that often appears during this period when people feel uncertain about their future. They sometimes choose the easiest escape distraction: endless scrolling, endless entertainment, endless postponement of difficult decisions. Distraction feels good in the moment, but it quietly steals something extremely valuable: your attention. And attention is the tool you need to build your future. Without attention, goals remain vague ideas. Without attention, habits never develop. Without attention, years disappear. Without meaningful progress. Let me ask you something again. How many hours do you think you spend on your phone every day? 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours? If your phone could show you the exact number of hours you spend scrolling each week, do you think you would feel proud or uncomfortable? Be honest, right? Proud or honestly uncomfortable in the comments. This is not about guilt, it is about awareness, because awareness is the first step toward change. Here is something powerful to remember: the direction of your life is rarely determined by one huge decision. It is determined by small daily choices. What you read, what you watch, what you practice, what you avoid. Those choices slowly shape your identity, and identity shapes your future. The good news is this: if small habits can slowly create confusion in your life, small habits can also create clarity. And that is exactly what we are going to explore in this video. But before we continue, I want to ask you something important. If you are someone who genuinely wants to build a better future, press the like button right now, not because it helps the video, but because it helps you make a small commitment to yourself, a commitment that says, I am not just drifting through life anymore. In the next part of this video, we are going to explore something extremely important: why so many intelligent, talented young people still feel lost during their 20s. And the answer might surprise you, because the real reason is not laziness, it is not lack of talent, and it is not bad luck. The real reason is something much deeper, and once you understand it, you will start seeing your life in a completely different way. Now that we have talked about the quiet confusion many people feel in their 20s, we need to understand something deeper. Why does this happen to so many people? Not just a few, millions. Smart people, hardworking people, people with talent, ambition, and dreams. And yet, despite all of that potential, they still feel like they are drifting. The reason is not what most people think. It is not laziness. It is not stupidity. And it is not a lack of opportunity. The real reason is something much more subtle. Most people were never taught how to build direction in their life. Think about your entire education. You probably spent more than 10 years studying subjects like mathematics, history, science, literature, and many other topics. All of those things are valuable. But there is one subject most schools never really teach: how to design your life. Nobody sits down and explains how to discover your strengths, how to explore meaningful career paths, how to test different interests, how to build a long-term vision for your future. Instead, many people reach their 20s and suddenly realize something shocking. For the first time in their life, they are responsible for choosing their direction. And that responsibility can feel overwhelming. Imagine standing in the middle of a massive forest. There are hundreds of paths in front of you. Some paths lead to exciting opportunities. Some paths lead nowhere. Some paths are difficult but meaningful. Others are easy but empty. But there is no sign telling you which path is right. That is what life in your 20s often feels like: a forest of possibilities, and the fear of choosing the wrong path. Let me ask you something very honestly. Have you ever delayed making an important decision because you were afraid it might be the wrong one? Maybe choosing a major in college, maybe choosing a career, maybe deciding whether to start something new. If that has happened to you before, type "I've been there" in the comments. Because hesitation is one of the most common struggles young adults face. And the problem with hesitation is this: while you are afraid of choosing the wrong path, time continues moving forward. Years pass, opportunities appear and disappear. And sometimes people wake up at age 30 or 35 realizing something uncomfortable. They were so afraid of making the wrong decision that they never fully committed to any direction at all. But that is only one reason people feel lost. There is another powerful force shaping your thinking every day: comparison. Comparison has existed forever, but in the modern world, it has become much more intense. Because now you carry a comparison machine in your pocket, your phone. Every day you see people your age starting companies, people your age becoming influencers, people your age achieving impressive milestones. And slowly, without realizing it, a dangerous thought begins forming in your mind. Everyone else is moving forward, except me. But here is something extremely important to understand. You are comparing your behind-the-scenes reality with someone else's highlight moments. That comparison is not fair. It is not accurate, and it can destroy your confidence if you believe it too much. Let me ask you a question. When you scroll through social media and see someone your age achieving something impressive, does it inspire you? Or does it sometimes make you feel like you are falling behind? Be honest. Right inspires me or makes me doubt myself in the comments. There is no shame in either answer, but awareness matters. Because if you constantly consume content that makes you feel inadequate, your motivation slowly disappears. And without motivation, building direction becomes even harder. But there is an even deeper reason people feel lost in their 20s. And this one is rarely discussed. Too many choices. Previous generations often had fewer options. A person might grow up, learn a specific trade, work in that field, build a family, and follow a relatively predictable path. But today, the world offers thousands of possibilities. You could become a software developer, a designer, an entrepreneur, a content creator, a researcher, a consultant, a teacher, a freelancer, a startup founder, a digital nomad. The list goes on and on. At first glance, this seems amazing, and it is. But unlimited choice can also create something psychologists call decision paralysis. When there are too many options, the brain struggles to choose one. And instead of taking action, many people stay stuck in the middle, thinking, analyzing, overthinking, waiting for perfect clarity. But clarity rarely appears before action. In most cases, clarity appears because of action. You try something, you learn, you adjust, you move again. Direction is discovered through movement, not endless thinking. Let me challenge you with something right now. Think about one idea you have been considering for months, or even years. Maybe starting a project, maybe learning a new skill, maybe improving your health, maybe building something meaningful. Now ask yourself one honest question. Why haven't you started yet? Write your answer in the comments. Seriously, your answer might help someone else watching this video. Sometimes when we speak our hesitation out loud, we suddenly realize something important. The obstacle we feared might not be as big as we imagined, but there is still another reason people feel lost. And this one is surprisingly simple. Most people never pause long enough to reflect on their life. Modern life is extremely noisy. Notifications, messages, videos, news, endless content. The moment your mind becomes quiet, something quickly fills the silence. But clarity often requires silence. It requires moments when you step back and ask deeper questions. Questions like, what actually excites me? What kind of problems do I enjoy solving? What kind of work gives me energy instead of draining it? Who do I want to become in the next 10 years? These questions cannot be answered in 30 seconds. They require reflection, and reflection requires time. Here is something powerful you can try this week. Set aside 1 hour, just one. Turn off your phone, sit somewhere quiet, and write down answers to 3 questions. Question 1. What activities make me feel alive? Question 2. What skills do I naturally enjoy developing? Question 3. If money did not matter for the next 5 years, what would I spend my time learning? You might be surprised by your answers. And if you actually try this exercise, come back to this video and comment, I did the exercise. I genuinely want to know how many people take action instead of just watching. Because this channel is not about passive motivation. It is about active reflection. And reflection leads to something powerful. Clarity. Now in the next part of this video, we are going to talk about something very real. A story about someone who spent most of their 20s drifting without direction, and the moment they realized they had wasted years. But that realization also became the turning point that changed their life. And the lesson inside that story might change the way you think about your time starting today. So before we continue, let me ask you one more thing. If you believe your 20s should be used to build your future instead of just passing time, press the like button. And if you want more conversations like this, consider subscribing. Because the next part of this story might hit closer to home than you expect. Let me tell you a story. This story is not about a celebrity. It is not about a billionaire entrepreneur. And it is not about someone who became famous. It is about someone ordinary. Someone whose life might feel surprisingly familiar to many people watching this video. Let's call him Alex. Alex graduated from college at 22 years old. On the day of his graduation, he felt proud. His family was proud. His friends were celebrating. Everyone kept saying the same thing. Your real life starts now. At the time, Alex felt excited. But there was one small problem he didn't talk about with anyone. He had no idea what direction his life should take. Have you ever felt that before? A moment where everyone around you seems confident about your future, but inside your mind, you feel uncertain? If that feeling sounds familiar, right? I understand, Alex, in the comments. Because what happened next happens to millions of people. At first, Alex told himself something simple. I'll figure it out later. So he accepted a job that felt safe. Not exciting, not terrible, just safe. The kind of job many people take when they are unsure what they really want. The salary paid the bills. The work was manageable, and life felt comfortable enough. But here is something important to understand. Comfort can sometimes hide slow stagnation. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Months slowly became years. And Alex began building a routine. Wake up, go to work, come home, watch videos, scroll social media, meet friends occasionally, sleep, repeat. Does that routine sound familiar? Be honest. If your days sometimes feel like that cycle, type relatable in the comments. Because routines like this are incredibly common. And in the beginning, they do not feel dangerous. They feel normal. But something slowly started happening inside Alex's mind. Every once in a while, a quiet thought appeared. Usually late at night. Usually when life became quiet. The thought sounded like this. Is this really what my life is going to be? At first, he ignored it. Everyone around him seemed to live the same way. So maybe this was just how adulthood worked. But the thought kept returning. Every few weeks, then every few days, then almost every night. And each time it appeared, it felt a little heavier. Until one moment changed everything. It happened on a random evening when Alex met one of his old college friends. They had not seen each other for several years. They sat down in a small coffee shop and started talking. At first, the conversation was casual. Work, life, relationships. But then Alex's friend said something unexpected. I just quit my job. Alex looked surprised. Why? He asked. His friend smiled and said something simple. Because I realized I was building a life I didn't actually want. That sentence stayed in Alex's mind for days. Building a life I didn't actually want. And suddenly, Alex began asking himself uncomfortable questions. Was he doing the same thing? Was he building a life he didn't actually want? Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at your daily routine and wondered whether it is moving you toward the future you truly want? If that question hits you personally, pause for a moment and think about it. You don't need to answer in the comments this time. Just be honest with yourself, because that question can be powerful. After that conversation, Alex started paying closer attention to his life, and what he noticed made him uncomfortable. He realized something simple but shocking. For almost 3 years, he had not seriously improved any important skill. He had not built something meaningful. He had not explored new directions. He had simply maintained a comfortable routine. And suddenly, the thought that used to appear occasionally became much louder. Am I wasting my 20s? That question can feel frightening, but it can also become something powerful. A wake-up call. One night, Alex did something he had not done in years. He sat down with a notebook. No phone, no distractions, just a blank page. And he wrote a question at the top. What kind of life do I actually want? At first, he didn't know what to write. His mind felt empty, but slowly, ideas began appearing. He wrote things like, I want work that challenges me. I want to build something meaningful. I want to develop skills I'm proud of. I want to feel like I'm growing. Then he wrote another question. What am I doing right now that moves me toward this life? The answer was uncomfortable, very little, and that realization hit him hard. But sometimes painful honesty is exactly what we need. Let me challenge you with something right now. Imagine yourself 5 years from today. You are sitting somewhere quiet, thinking about your life, and you look back at the person you are today. Would that future version of you feel proud of how you are spending your time right now? Or would they wish you had started sooner? If you want, write "start now" in the comments. Not for me, for yourself. Because one of the biggest regrets people express later in life is something simple. I wish I had started earlier. After that night with the notebook, Alex made one small decision. He would stop waiting for clarity to magically appear. Instead, he would start experimenting, trying things, learning things, testing different directions. He didn't quit his job immediately. He didn't make a dramatic life change overnight. Instead, he did something much more realistic. He started using his evenings differently. Instead of endless scrolling, he began learning new skills. Instead of passive entertainment, he started building small projects. slowly, step by step, and something interesting started happening. The more he explored different interests, the more his direction slowly became clearer. Not perfectly clear, but clearer than before. Because direction rarely appears instantly. It grows through exploration, through mistakes, through trying things that might fail. Now I want to ask you something important. Do you think Alex realized this lesson too late? Or do you think he discovered it at exactly the right moment? Right, too late, or right moment in the comments. Your answer might reveal how you currently think about time and opportunity. Because here is the truth. Many people do not realize they are drifting until their 30s or 40s. Alex realized it in his mid-20s, which means something powerful. He still had time, and so do you. But the next part of this story is where things become really interesting. Because Alex eventually discovered something that changed the way he thought about his future completely. A simple shift in perspective, a turning point. And once he understood it, his life began moving in a very different direction. In the next part of this video, we will talk about that turning point. And it might change the way you think about your life starting today. But before we move on, let me ask you one small favor. If this story made you reflect on your own life, even for a moment, press the like button. And if you know someone in their 20s who might feel lost right now, consider sharing this video with them. Because sometimes one conversation can help someone rethink the direction of their entire life. Part 4. The turning point that changes everything. After that night with the notebook, something subtle began changing inside Alex. Nothing dramatic happened immediately. He didn't suddenly become extremely successful. He didn't suddenly discover the perfect career. And his life didn't transform overnight. But something far more important began shifting. His awareness. For the first time in years, Alex started paying attention to how he was spending his time. And that awareness slowly revealed something uncomfortable. His biggest problem was not a lack of opportunity. It was a lack of intentional direction. For years, he had been living on autopilot. Wake up, go to work, relax, scroll, repeat. And when life runs on autopilot long enough, something strange happens. Days blend together. Weeks blur, months disappear, and suddenly you realize time has passed without meaningful progress. Let me ask you something very honestly. If someone followed you around for the next 7 days and recorded exactly how you spent your time, would you feel proud showing that footage to your future self? Or would it make you uncomfortable? Take a second and think about that. You don't have to answer publicly, but your honest answer matters. Because the way you spend ordinary days quietly builds your extraordinary future. Alex began noticing something else too. He realized that many of his daily habits were not designed for growth. They were designed for comfort. Comfort is not always bad. Rest matters. Entertainment matters. But when comfort becomes your default lifestyle, something dangerous happens. You stop challenging yourself. You stop learning aggressively. You stop exploring possibilities. And slowly, your world becomes smaller. That realization became Alex's turning point. He asked himself a question that changed everything. What if my 20s are not about finding the perfect path, but about exploring many paths? That idea completely shifted the way he thought about his life. Instead of waiting for clarity, he started building experiments. Small experiments, low risk, but meaningful. Let me ask you something. When you hear the word experiment, what comes to your mind? Maybe science labs, maybe school projects. But the most interesting experiments often happen in real life. Trying a new skill, starting a small project, exploring a new industry, building something from scratch. Each experiment teaches you something valuable, not just about the world, but about yourself. What excites you? What drains you? What challenges you? What motivates you? And slowly, through these experiments, a clearer direction begins forming. Alex started with something simple. He asked himself, what skills are becoming more valuable in the world right now? He started researching, reading, listening to podcasts, watching interviews with people doing interesting work. And one thing became clear. The world was changing faster than ever before. New industries were appearing. New careers were emerging. And many people who succeeded were not the ones who had everything figured out early. They were the ones who adapted quickly and kept learning. That idea gave Alex a new perspective. Instead of worrying about choosing the perfect career immediately, he decided to focus on something more powerful. Building valuable skills. Skills that could open many doors. Skills that could give him flexibility. Skills that could allow him to pivot when necessary. Let me ask you something important. What skills are you currently developing that will still be valuable 5 years from now? Think about that carefully, because the future belongs to people who keep learning, not just people who collect degrees. If you already have a skill you are actively improving right now, write it in the comments. Maybe it is programming, design, writing, marketing, public speaking, entrepreneurship, or something completely different. Sharing your skill might inspire someone else watching this video. Alex started dedicating just 1 hour each day to learning something new. 1 hour. That doesn't sound dramatic, but over time, something powerful happens when you repeat small efforts consistently. 1 hour per day becomes 7 hours per week. 7 hours per week becomes over 300 hours per year. Think about that. 300 hours invested in learning a skill. That kind of effort can completely change your trajectory. But something else interesting happened during Alex's experiments. He discovered something surprising. Some things he thought he would love, he actually disliked. Other things he never expected to enjoy became incredibly interesting. That is the beauty of experimentation. It reveals truths that thinking alone cannot. Let me challenge you with something right now. Think about one interest you have always been curious about, but never seriously explored. Maybe photography, maybe business, maybe coding, maybe fitness, maybe content creation, maybe something creative. Now imagine spending just 30 minutes a day for the next 30 days exploring that interest. 30 days. That is not a huge commitment, but it might reveal something important. If you are willing to try this experiment, write 30-day experiment in the comments. Because many life-changing discoveries start with small experiments. But the biggest lesson Alex learned during this time was something deeper. Your 20s are not a test you must pass perfectly. They are a training ground, a period where mistakes are normal, where exploration is valuable, where learning quickly matters more than being perfect. The people who struggle the most during this decade are often the ones who feel pressured to have everything figured out immediately. But life rarely works that way. Clarity grows slowly, through experience, through curiosity, through persistence, and eventually, something interesting began happening in Alex's life. Because he was experimenting more, he started meeting new people, people who were building things, people who were learning constantly, people who had goals. And being around those people changed his mindset even further. Environment matters more than most people realize. If everyone around you is drifting, drifting feels normal. But if people around you are building, learning, and challenging themselves, that energy becomes contagious. Let me ask you something honestly. Do the people you spend the most time with encourage growth, or mostly encourage comfort? There is no judgment here, but your environment shapes your expectations, and expectations shape your actions. If this conversation is making you think more seriously about your future, press the like button, because reflection is the beginning of change. In the next part of this video, we are going to talk about something practical, how you can begin finding direction in your own life starting today. Not in 5 years, not someday, but starting with small actions you can take this week. Because clarity is not something you wait for, it is something you build. Part 5, how to start finding direction in your life. Now we arrive at the most important question in this entire conversation. If someone feels lost in their 20s, what should they actually do next? Not motivational quotes, not vague advice, real steps, practical actions, things you can begin doing starting today. Because the truth is simple. Clarity does not appear while you are waiting. Clarity appears while you are moving. Think about learning how to drive a car. You cannot fully understand driving by reading a book. Eventually, you have to sit in the driver's seat and start moving. Life direction works the same way. You discover your path by engaging with the world, not by endlessly thinking about it. So let's talk about several powerful steps that can begin changing the way you approach your life. But before we start, I want to ask you something simple. If you genuinely want to take control of your future instead of drifting through it, press the like button right now. That small action is a signal that says, I'm ready to take this conversation seriously. Now let's begin. Step 1. Ask better questions. Most people spend years asking themselves the wrong question. They ask, what job should I choose? But that question is often too narrow. A better question might be, what kind of problems do I enjoy solving? Or, what type of work makes me feel engaged instead of drained? Your career is not just a job title. It is the type of problems you choose to work on every day. Some people enjoy solving technical problems. Some enjoy creative challenges. Some enjoy helping people. Some enjoy building systems and businesses. If you are not sure yet, that is okay. But asking better questions can begin revealing patterns in your interests. Here is a small exercise. Write down 3 activities that make you lose track of time. Moments when you are so focused that hours pass quickly. Those activities often reveal something important about your natural interests. If you actually do this exercise, come back and comment, "I wrote my 3." I want to know who is actually participating, because watching videos is easy. Reflection takes effort. Step 2, build skills. Not just plans. Many people spend years planning their future, but plans without skills are fragile. Skills create opportunity. Skills create flexibility. Skills create confidence. Let me ask you something honestly. What skill are you actively improving right now? Not something you learned years ago. Something you are currently developing. Write it in the comments, even if it feels small, because skills compound over time. Imagine 2 people at age 22. One person spends 5 years mostly consuming entertainment. The other spends 5 years consistently learning valuable skills. Programming, writing, marketing, design, communication, business. At age 27, those 2 people will live in completely different realities. Not because of luck, but because of skill development. The good news? You can start anytime, even today, even with just 1 hour per day. Step 3, run life experiments. Remember the idea Alex discovered earlier? Experiments. Instead of trying to predict the perfect future, try small experiments. Let's say you are curious about entrepreneurship. Instead of quitting everything immediately, you could start a small online project. Sell a simple product. Build something small. Test an idea. Maybe it works. Maybe it fails. Either way, you learn something valuable. Let me challenge you right now. Think about one experiment you could start this month. Not next year. Not someday. This month. It could be starting a blog, launching a small business idea, learning a digital skill, creating content, improving your health, reading 10 books, anything that moves you forward. Now write one experiment in the comments. Your idea might inspire someone else watching this video. And who knows? A small experiment today could become a huge opportunity tomorrow. Step 4. Change your environment. Your environment influences your thinking more than you realize. If you constantly surround yourself with people who complain about life, it becomes easy to adopt the same mindset. But if you spend time around people who are building something, learning something, improving themselves, that energy becomes contagious. Now I want you to reflect on something. Think about the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they helping you grow, or are they mostly helping you stay comfortable? There is no judgment, but awareness matters. Sometimes growth begins when you start spending more time around people who challenge you to think bigger. Even online communities can change your perspective. Books can change your perspective. Podcasts can change your perspective. Ideas are powerful, and the ideas you expose yourself to daily shape the direction of your life. Step 5. Accept that confusion is part of the process. One of the biggest mistakes young people make is believing they must feel completely confident before moving forward. But confidence usually appears after action, not before. Every interesting life involves periods of uncertainty, periods where you are learning, adjusting, rebuilding. Confusion does not mean you are failing. Often it means you are in the middle of discovering something important. Let me ask you something honestly. Right now, do you feel more A, completely clear about your future, or B, still exploring your direction? Write A or B in the comments. Both answers are normal. The goal is not instant certainty. The goal is consistent movement. Now here is something powerful to remember. Your 20s are not just about achieving things. They are about becoming someone disciplined, someone curious, someone capable of learning new things, someone willing to take responsibility for their future. Those qualities matter far more than having the perfect plan, because people with those qualities can adapt to almost any situation. And the world is changing fast, which means adaptability is becoming one of the most valuable skills of all. But we still have 2 extremely important parts left in this video. In the next part, we are going to talk about something very practical: how to design the next 5 years of your life intentionally. Not perfectly, but intentionally. Because people who design their future tend to create opportunities that others never notice. So before we continue, I want to ask you something simple. If this conversation is helping you think more seriously about your life, press the like button. And if you know someone in their 20s who might feel lost right now, consider sharing this video with them. Sometimes the right conversation at the right moment can completely change someone's direction. Next section, Part 6, designing the next 5 years of your life. Now we are going to talk about something that most people never seriously do. Designing the next 5 years of their life. Not guessing, not hoping, not drifting, designing. Because one simple truth separates people who slowly build powerful lives from those who remain stuck. The first group thinks long-term. The second group mostly reacts to whatever happens next. And here is the surprising part. Designing the next 5 years of your life does not require perfect clarity. You do not need to know exactly where you will end up. You only need a direction. Think about using a GPS. When you enter a destination, the system gives you a route. But if you take a wrong turn, what happens? The GPS simply recalculates. Life direction works the same way. You choose a direction, you begin moving, and along the way, you adjust. But many people never enter a destination. They simply keep driving, and eventually they wonder why they ended up somewhere they never intended to go. So let me ask you something very directly. Where do you want to be 5 years from now? Not where your parents want you to be, not where society expects you to be, where you want to be. Take a moment and imagine your life 5 years in the future. Picture it clearly. What kind of work are you doing? What skills have you developed? What kind of people are around you? What does a normal day in your life look like? If you can imagine that future clearly, write, "I see it" in the comments. And if you are still unsure, write, "Still figuring it out." Both answers are completely normal. But imagination is powerful. Because once you can imagine a future, you can begin moving toward it. Now here is something important. Many people make the mistake of focusing only on results. They think about, I want to earn this amount of money. I want this job. I want this lifestyle. But focusing only on results can be misleading, because results are outcomes, and outcomes depend on many factors. A more powerful focus is something different. Who must you become to create that future? Let's say someone wants to build a successful business. That goal requires more than just an idea. It requires becoming someone who can solve problems, handle uncertainty, communicate clearly, lead people, stay disciplined during difficult periods. The future you want requires a version of yourself capable of creating it. So here is a powerful exercise. Instead of writing your goals first, write this question. What kind of person must I become in the next 5 years? Think about qualities like discipline, curiosity, confidence, focus, resilience, communication. Which of these qualities would most improve your life if you develop them? Write one quality in the comments. Just one. Because that quality might become the foundation of your next stage of growth. Now let's talk about something practical. When people imagine 5 years, it feels like a long time. But in reality, 5 years passes extremely quickly. Think about where you were 5 years ago. Did it feel far away? Or did it disappear faster than you expected? If the last 5 years of your life feel like they went by very quickly, press the like button right now. Because that realization is important. Time moves whether we design our future or not. Which means we have a choice. Drift or design. Now here is a simple way to start designing. Think about your life in 3 areas. Your skills, your health, your relationships. If you improve those 3 areas consistently for the next 5 years, your life would look completely different. Let's explore them briefly. First, skills. What abilities are you developing that could create opportunities for you in the future? The world rewards people who can create value, solve problems, build things, communicate ideas, and these abilities can be learned, even starting with small daily effort. Second, health. This one is often ignored by young people, but your energy level affects everything. Your focus, your productivity, your confidence. A strong body supports a strong mind, and habits built in your 20s often last decades. Third, relationships. The people you meet and the networks you build can open unexpected doors. Opportunities rarely appear in isolation. They appear through people, collaborations, communities. Now I want to ask you something interesting. Which of these 3 areas do you think most people neglect in their 20s? Skills, health, or relationships? Write 1, 2, or 3 in the comments. You might be surprised how many people choose the same answer, because awareness often reveals patterns we ignore. Now here is the most important idea in this entire section. Your future is not built by giant decisions once a year. It is built by small daily actions repeated thousands of times. Reading instead of scrolling, learning instead of postponing, building instead of consuming. These choices seem small today, but they compound over time. Just like interest in a bank account, small deposits grow into something powerful. Now imagine something with me. Imagine two people starting at age 23. The first person spends the next 5 years mostly distracted. Endless entertainment, minimal skill development, minimal long-term thinking. The second person spends the next 5 years learning aggressively, building skills, experimenting with ideas, meeting new people, improving their habits. At age 28, those two people will experience completely different opportunities. Not because one person was lucky, but because one person designed their direction intentionally. Now let me challenge you with something. Before this video ends, write down one decision that your future self would thank you for making today. Maybe it is starting to learn a valuable skill, improving your health, reducing distractions, starting a project, reading more. Whatever it is, write it in the comments. Not because comments matter, because commitment matters. Now we are approaching the final part of this video. And in the last section, I want to talk directly to you about something that many people realize too late. The real value of your 20s, and a challenge that could change the direction of your life starting today. Next section, Part 7, the final wake-up call plus viewer challenge. Part 7, the final wake-up call and your challenge before this video ends. I want you to pause for a moment. Take a slow breath and think about something very simple but very powerful. You will never be this young again. Right now, wherever you are in your 20s, you are standing in one of the most important decades of your life. A decade filled with possibilities, a decade filled with potential, but also a decade that can quietly disappear if you are not paying attention. The world often tells you that your 20s are just a time to relax, have fun, and not worry too much about the future. And yes, enjoying life matters. Experiences matter. Friendships matter. But here is the truth many people realize too late. Your 20s are not just about enjoying life. They are about building the foundation of the life you will live later. The habits you create, the skills you develop, the mindset you build. These things compound over time, just like investing money. Small investments early can grow into something powerful later. But if those investments never happen, the future becomes much harder. Let me ask you something honestly. If your future self from 10 years from now could send you a message today, what do you think they would say? Would they say, "Thank you for working hard when it was difficult"? Or would they say, "I wish you had taken your time more seriously"? That question might feel uncomfortable, but uncomfortable questions often lead to important realizations. Now here is something important to remember. You do not need to become perfect tomorrow. You do not need to suddenly transform your entire life overnight. Real change rarely happens that way. Instead, powerful change usually begins with something very small. A decision. A moment where you stop drifting and start choosing your direction. Maybe that decision is to learn a new skill. Maybe it is to reduce distractions. Maybe it is to start building something meaningful. Maybe it is simply to start thinking about your life more intentionally. Small decisions repeated daily become powerful over time. And here is something fascinating about human potential. You are capable of far more than you currently believe. But potential only becomes reality when it is combined with action. Now I want to ask you something very directly. Imagine yourself 5 years from today. Picture the version of you who used the next 5 years wisely. This version of you has developed valuable skills. They have built discipline. They have explored opportunities. They have grown. They are more confident, more capable, more experienced. Now imagine that version of you looking back at the person you are today. What do you think they would say? Would they say, "Thank you for starting when it was difficult"? Or would they say, "You had the chance, but you kept postponing it"? Be honest with yourself, because that future version of you is not imaginary. It is slowly being created by the decisions you make every day. Right now, today, this week, this year. And the good news is something simple. It is not too late. If you are watching this video in your 20s, you still have something incredibly valuable. Time. Time to experiment. Time to learn. Time to make mistakes. Time to rebuild. Many people do not realize the value of time until much later. But awareness right now can change everything. So here is the challenge I want to give you before this video ends. A real challenge. Not just something inspirational. Something practical. Tonight, or sometime today, find 10 minutes of quiet. Just 10. Turn off your phone. Sit down with a notebook or a piece of paper and write answers to 3 questions. Question 1. What kind of life do I truly want to build? Not what others expect. What you want. Question 2. What skills would make that life possible? Skills are tools. Tools create opportunities. Question 3. What is one action I can start this week that moves me in that direction? Just one. You do not need 10. You do not need a perfect plan. Just one action. If you actually do this exercise, come back to this video and comment. I started. Those two words are powerful because many people watch motivational videos, but very few people take action after watching them. Now let me ask you one more question before we finish. How many of you want to look back 10 years from now and feel proud of how you used your 20s? If that is you, press the like button. Not for the algorithm, for yourself. A small reminder that this conversation meant something to you. And if you know someone in their 20s who feels lost right now, consider sharing this video with them. Because sometimes the right idea at the right moment can change someone's direction completely. And finally, I want to leave you with one thought. Your life is not decided in one dramatic moment. It is shaped by thousands of small decisions. The books you read, the habits you build, the skills you practice, the risks you take. Those decisions quietly create your future. So the real question is not, will your life change? Because it will. The real question is, will you change it intentionally, or will it change by accident? Think about that, and remember something simple. Your future is not something you discover one day. It is something you build